Okay, I've showed you quite a few examples of what we can do on paper, but now I would also like to show you what we can do on textile, because you'll be able to choose if you want to do one textile project during the semester. So I'm going to show you what some of the people in the past have done for the textile. First, usually we make this is for a textile, these two screens right here. This is color number 1 and color number 2. So I don't let you do as many colors usually on the textiles because we have to use such large screens and it takes a long time to prepare them. So we have to limit ourselves on the number of colors a little bit, okay? But here's an example of a scarf. This was done on a big screen. It's a border print. So when we printed it, it was long like this. And we had the large part of the design at each end. We printed on white cotton first to test it, because this is a piece of silk. Usually if you're printing on silk, I recommend you start on a piece of cotton first and practice, and then you do your nice fabric later. So we just took the screen and we turned it the other way on this end, so that we got a nice scarf, shawl type scarf that you can wear with both ends with the heavy print and the other part with the lighter part of the print. So this can be really nice to do that kind of a design, a border design that can be turned. And I believe it's 3 colors. Okay, this one is just two colors, and it's all linear. And it's a Asian design, sort of a Japanese kind of design with fans. And it's 2 colors. Chiffon works very nice. This is a China silk. Now this one, it has a matching print. It's just one color. Here we have it black on white, but she also printed it on purple and copper color paint. And then she was a fashion student, so this girl, with her one on purple, she made a pair of pants with this and a top with this. But it also makes a lovely scarf set. Just one color, but quite a bit of work in the drawing of this. This is all was hand drawn. So actually, we hand drew a couple of them and we photocopied them and then we pasted them all together so she didn't have to draw too many. And then this goes with it. It's like a small mini version of the other one. And this is another type of scarf. And on this one, I asked the student to do just 1/4 of it. And then when we printed it, we turned it. So we didn't have to make such a big screen to do 1/4. We just had to plan it so that it would fit at the joints and turn in a nice way. She printed it several times in other various colors. And this one here is a sort of a stripe, in a way, kind of a stripe. Yeah. With wisteria plants. I guess it goes this way. Which, if you're in Florence in the spring, there's wisteria everywhere, hanging off the building, this old building. It looks really beautiful. So this is, I think, very Florence-inspired wisteria. Glicini in Italian. And this one, the girl came up with the design just by doodling circles, and it really came out nice, the design. So just pen and ink, doodling circles. And another girl, different kind of doodling, but I bet some of you have done this kind of doodle, but look at how beautiful. It looks like twisted rope, and that came out very nice, too. There's lots of people riding bicycles in Florence. So this girl went out and drew a bunch of different types of bicycles that she saw around here to make a wonderful textile with just bicycles. 2 colors. But she paid quite a good attention to whether they had a basket, whether it was tall bike, small bike, women's bike, men's bike, all the little details. And this is printed on a lightweight cotton. This was part of a table set about wine wine in Florence, and the grapes and the vineyards, and also cafes. She's got cups of whatever she's drinking here. So this is also a corner one, so she could make a small scarf with it as well. And she made, I think, 4 of them, this way 4 times, and then again 4 times on a big piece of fabric to make a tablecloth. So she had like a set of things. This one was fairly complicated to design. So this is the practice, learning how to print it. It also was a rotating one, but this was half of the scarf, and so she had to turn it to make the other half. And there's quite a few colors, but this was an advanced textile major fashion student, so she wanted to make a pretty complicated thing. But a mosaic can be quite a beautiful thing to interpret, but it can be a lot of work too. But it came out really beautiful in the end. This was the practice, trying to print the different colors on top of each other. And this is the colors that she finally chose to do on the good piece of fabric. This one is we have another pigeon one, but this time the pigeons are on the streets of Florence with all the cobblestone. And it's in an overall repeat. And this girl got some white or off-white cotton flannel and printed enough to make a pair of pajamas. It was really cute. She made the pajamas. It came out really cute. And it's all the pigeons on the streets. This one's inspired by India, this size first. And she liked it a lot, so we actually just reduced it photographically to a smaller size, and we made 2 variations. And she made various things with both the larger size and the smaller size. Beautiful rendering. Everything is so precise and perfect on this one. But we just reduced this one down smaller, so she didn't have to redraw it for that one. This one is a little fun one with sort of a Renaissance format, but a little bit of a more fun, modern interpretation. We have the Florence symbol here, and little heads of skulls, crocodiles, lions, unicorns, etc. And she printed on several things. She printed enough of this, I think. Then she printed on a little bit heavier fabric, a linen, with a few more colors besides this, and made a vest. She was also in jewelry, and she made the little skull buttons and little lion buttons for the buttons on the vest. This one. A one-color one, but she was a fashion student, so she took one of her fashion drawings and did 4 sections of it and some mechanical machine type pieces along with it. This one was part of a complicated project. This student was very good at pen and ink and cross-hatching. I hope you can get the good detail of that right here. And this is the border for a quilt. She made a quilt for a bed. And these are some of the strips for in between. And then she started drawing angels and other characters in Florence for all the patches that were going to be in the middle. I don't have everything here, but this is the outer edge of the quilt and some of the dividing borders and a few of the angels that were put inside. And it was a big project. She was somebody that was here at least a full year. This one's a very nice textile design. Nice, very beautifully planned, a plant. And she planned it out really well how they fit together too. As you see little spaces here where the leaves have to connect into each other so that when you print them together over and over, you cannot tell where it fits together. And that's the beauty of what you have to solve in a textile design. You have to figure out how to design your unit so that it'll lock together like a jigsaw puzzle and repeat itself in a way that you can't tell where it begins and ends. She was very careful to use some linear effects for shading effects on the leaves. It was a really beautifully designed piece, this one. If you opt to do the textile thing, I will give you some lessons on how to make repeat patterns. That would be in the second project if you want to do a textile, you can do. This one is her interpretation of a Monet painting. I think does it go that way? The water lily paintings that Monet did. And she interpreted it with crayon to draw the original drawing with just 4 colors, and she made it look that good with just 4 colors. So another thing you have to think in mind with the silk screen is if the colors overlap each other, they might make another color, and you can get more colors than you actually have screens for if you plan it right. If you overlap, because they're transparent, and they cross over each other like watercolors. So if you plan it right, you can get a lot of extra colors without having to print them. When you're working on your designs, I will help you every step of the way to make sure your design will work. This person was another fashion student I had. And she used the same screen with 2 totally different effects. These are leftover scraps from the clothing that she made. So, but this design with this sort of vase and looks like sort of forks was her screen in 2 colors. And here she used opaque color, metallic opaque. I have that. It's pearl opaque. And printed on top of these stars, which she also made the star background with little stamps with wax and batik. So it's a mixture of screen printing and batik. Where this one, she bought a striped fabric. Sometimes you can get a fabric that has a little bit of a design already in it, not too much, that would complement your own design on top of it. Now, I know everybody wants to make T-shirts, so here's a couple of them. I will let you do T-shirts up to a point, not too many, but you can do a few, okay? Otherwise, it's all T-shirts. This happens to be a really beautiful T-shirt, beautifully designed, with the little rabbit print. And one rabbit she printed on felt, and she appliqued him on and hand embroidered this onto it. Little hand embroidery over here. She made, another thing you can do is make your own labels for all your clothes, your own personal labels. And the back side has another design with the mushrooms. So if you make a T-shirt, I'd like it to be nicely designed. This one's nicely designed. Okay. This T-shirt, we were just trying with paper stencils. This was just with paper stencils without doing emulsion, but a blank screen, and that pieces of paper stick to the back of the screen. So this is with pieces of paper. And the little hands came from a little paper punch. You know the paper punches that they have for children? It has little cats and dogs and whatever. Well, there was a little hand, so we used the hand. And this was at the beginning of the COVID, and it was supposed to represent all the hands of the people that are sick down here and the doctors and nurses coming to help them, coming down from the top. It was a paper stencil, so it was like a one day thing, where this one is an actual screen that you could use over and over again. Perhaps at the very first week, we can do a couple little paper stencils just to get warmed up with how to pull the squeegee and push the ink through, because that takes a little practice too.